Do you believe that it's those decisions that you make in your life that has created the life that you are currently in? If that's so, don't you think it's important that you start making better decisions starting today? And in this video, I'm going to be sharing four important ways, four ideas, in fact, that can really help you make much better decisions for yourself. And why is it important? You know that your decisions are creating your life. Let's go. Hi there, Karthik here. Thank you so much for tuning in into my channel, or even if you're watching this as a separate video. Thank you so much for being here. It really makes me happy to see that you made this decision, first of all, to watch about or learn about how to make good decisions. So let's go. The first thing that I'm going to be sharing with you, the one of the first ideas that I want to talk to you about is this. When you're making a decision, you have to start thinking about, does that honor your values? Something that you're trying to take up. It can be a new career, a new job, or something that you want to try out, or something which is just been pending for long term. Ask yourself this: does it honor your values? Because if there is a value mismatch, you may get that done, but you know what? There is not going to be that level of congruence inside you, which is not going to be helping you long term. You may not feel that sense. You may not have that sense of accomplishment while doing that. So, what's the first step that comes to your mind when you see this? Something that honors your values. What is the first thing that you have to be thinking about now? Well, about your own values, isn't it? If you do not know what your values are, you will not be able to align decisions with those values. So the first step for you under this is understanding what your values are. Really, putting down on a piece of paper right now. I hope you have that opportunity now. If you're in a place where you can note it down, think about it, maybe pause this video and do this activity right now. This is not like I just want you to like and share and subscribe. This is not that kind of video. I really want you to think about it, because this one decision of writing your values down, understanding truly who you are, what are your likes and dislikes, what connects with you more. Just this one activity can help you, because as you can see, this is the first step of the first step, understanding your value. So please take that moment, if not now, a little later. Write down your values and really write down what it means to you. Don't just write being honest. No, what does being honest mean to you? That's what is the work we have to do in the journey of personal development. Okay, so the second thing that's coming here is as we know that a lot of people even struggle to mention their top 5 values, top 3 values. Why? Because a lot of us, we have not thought through that. We have not thought about that. We have not spent that crucial time, spending the time understanding, okay, through my life, what are the things that I have valued the most? Not many do this work. So therefore, their decision making capabilities are not so world class. You know what I mean, right? And while I'm saying that, I'm honoring the fact that you're here and you're learning, and you made this decision to understand how to make great decisions. So let me give you some examples of what can be those values. Okay, so it can be love, truth, freedom, responsibility, respect, joy, caring, understanding, fairness, tolerance, adventure, learning, connection with God, being of service, and actively involved in creative pursuits. It can be spiritual side of things, or even the regular material side of things. What are the things that you value? And when you pick that out, let's say you pick from here, let's say love and truth. What does that mean to you? Forget what it means to a lot of other people, but if you have chosen those two as two of your values, What do they mean to you? That's something that only you can answer. So first thing is, does the decision that I'm trying to make, is that honoring the value that I have? Okay, that's the very first step. So now let's go to the second step. The second step here is, making sure that the decision honors your future. Don't you think it's very important that you don't just make a decision based on the present moment, but you think ahead, you think a little long term? And as high performers, which as people who are building their high performance habits, this is one of the crucial aspects that I teach inside my community. Are you just making this decision based on now, or are you also looking into the future and making this decision? Does it honor where you want to get? Because if it's not honoring the future plan that you have for yourself, you know what? It's not a decision. It's just going to be a distraction. Yeah. If this was a cool learning moment, just do let me know in the comment box. If something is not honoring your future vision, it's just a distraction, not a good decision. So let's see what's coming under this. The first one is, a lot of people, when they make decisions, right, they go back to their 5-year or 7-year old self, where they were acting out of fear, out of some kind of frustration or anger, and then they make that decision now, in spite of knowing that it's going to be helpful for them in the or the long term. You know why? Because of this. Please stop making those decisions as a 5-year-old self of yourself, or the kind of decisions that you made over the last 5 years. Maybe that did not go well, but you know what? It's the time to get your performance to the next level, your thought process to the next level. So make decisions not based on your past 5 years, but where you want to reach in the future. All right. The second thing here is, ask, what do you really desire? We spoke about values in the first point, and inside my community, a whole week during the hackathon, it's dedicated to determining your values. I give exercise frameworks to determine what are your values, and what does that mean to you. And a whole week is dedicated for my students to think about it and learn through it and distill it and really understand what are those top 3 or 4 or 5 values that really matters to them. And when I say that, it's not like it's going to fall just on your head and you know it right away. It can evolve over time, but at least you're making an attempt, to get that sorted out. You know what I mean, right? So the second is, ask, what do you really desire? The third one here is this. When we make the decision in the moment, uh, sometimes it's mostly based on the comfort that we have, and not based on what we want to become. What's that future identity? It's usually based on the current identity of an individual. It's not, the decision is not made based on the future identity of who you want to become. That's never thought through. Therefore, it's serving the purpose currently, but into the future, it's not helping them so much. Okay, if you've done any kind of those decisions that, yeah, it served you well now, but probably in the long term, as you went into the future, as you evolved with your thought process, with your decision making, you saw that those past decisions did not help you out so much. If there are something like that, just let me know in the comment box below. The fourth one here is, imagine your future self and make a good decision now. For example, it can be, your decision might be to become someone who's good at communication, someone who's a great leader, someone who's a lifelong learner. But if that's your future identity, are you making decisions now based on that, or based on the fear that you had? Okay, I chose something which did not work out. I got into this course which was not so great. Are you making decisions based on your past experiences? But are you evaluating, are you making decisions as a kind of an informed decision based on who you want to become in the future? No, I'm not saying just make a random decision, but at least you can make an informed decision, isn't it? So that's what the fourth point is about. And the fifth one is about it may be uncomfortable now, but what does it mean to you in the future? Yeah, for a lot of people, investing in their own education is so much more uncomfortable. Investing lakhs of rupees in my own education was one of the most uncomfortable thing to do. But you know what? I still made the decision because I knew that where that can take me into the future. In the future, I knew that that's really going to not just help me, but we'll come to other points below. I knew that it's going to help me in all these things. And when I'm sharing this with you, these are some of the frameworks that I use and that I share within my community as well. And if you're yet to join my community, I hope this is that point where you make the decision thinking about your future, thinking about building those high performance habits, and jumping in, being part of the community of achievers, where daily it's about how do you have a positive frame for your mind, what are the habits that you have to build, how do you build those things through the tools and frameworks and practices, and using the power of community that I share inside with my students. Yeah, if you're yet to make the decision, I hope you have a good framework for you to make the decision now. Okay, so with that point, let's get on to the third one. The third one being, which decision, I mean, rather, whichever decision you're considering, is it building you up, or is it kind of destroying you off? For example, let's take this example. Okay, you see something on the mobile, like an app. It can be a games app or something like that. You make the decision to install that. Yeah, it serves you your current identity, which says, I'm a gamer, I want to try this out. And you start playing that. That becomes a habit that you start overspending time and other resources on that. And over the long term, you figure out that, okay, that one decision I made, I lost one whole week last month because of that decision. Did it build you up, or did it destroy the resources that you had? That's something you really have to consider. So here, four ideas here. Does it challenge you, like not in terms of challenging you to complete that level and going to that level where you find the boss and beat the boss in the game, not that kind of a challenge, but pushing you to grow as an individual, that kind of a challenge. Does that develop strengths in you? Like, yeah, this kind of decision is not so easy at this moment, not comfortable, but what kind of strengths that does it help me build? What kind of habits? What kind of community? What kind of peer group? What kind of courses that is that going to open up for me? That's something you have to consider. Helps you build your character and capabilities. This is one of the big things that it's very crucial in the world of personal development. When you're learning about yourself, learning about your own character, capabilities, building that up, having daily practices and habits. Okay, that's the third one. The fourth one being, does it help? Is it helping you become more? When I say become more, more in terms of the way you think, more in terms of the way you approach challenges, all these things. Okay, so I hope you're strongly considering, and I'm challenging you to consider this option of joining my community if you have not done that yet. So I'll be sharing some links below, so through which you can really jump in and start learning right now to build your high performance habits that will eventually help you build a high performance lifestyle. Yeah, more on that when you click and join this link below. So that's the third one I wanted to share, the third idea rather. Okay, so now let's see what's coming up in the fourth one. Make the decision that allows you to serve others and also grow in your service to others. This is one of the key things, that really feeds the soul, if I may call it that way. In my own mentors community, every week I spend at least 2 hours serving the community, like facilitating, like helping people out inside the community. I don't get paid, but I learn a lot through that. You know why? because it really feeds the soul that I have. And if you want to be in such a group where it's not just about you, because the kind of action activities that you're going to be doing, it's going to inspire others, and it's going to open up opportunities for you to serve someone else or on the similar path just like you. Okay, let's see a few ideas here. So the first thing is, make decisions that align with your contribution ethics. When you join my community, one of the code of honor that I speak with my students over and over and over again and again and again is the code of honor of contribution, because we know as humans that if you are not contributing, we are not growing for sure. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one here is, what's the kind of contribution you want to do to this generation and probably also to the next generation? How do you want yourself to show up for them? Do you want to be a role model that people would love to follow you? Not because of what you have, what kind of wealth or thing that you have made, not just for that, but also for the kind of person that you are, the kind of inspiration that you share with others. Okay, that's something you can really consider while making a decision. What kind of contribution you can make to the team, your own team, kind of positive impact that you can bring in because you made the decision which was uncomfortable on that day. Just imagine how much of impact that can bring in for someone else who's struggling to make that decision just because they did not have this kind of a framework, you know, because you showed that, you know what, I was in similar situation, but nevertheless I made this decision. That's the kind of impact you can make. The next one is, it's not about becoming people pleasers, but it's about being of service, being of someone who can contribute, who can make a difference in this world. Okay, that's the fifth one. The sixth one is just be authentic. You don't have to do this uh, just to show off that hey, I'm an influencer or anything of that sort. You can simply do this because you truly authentically believe that contribution is an important value for you. And if this inspired you, if this really gave you some important pointers, those four ideas for you to make better decisions, it's not like you have to apply everything. Even when you start applying one of these things, you'll see that your life is going to be totally transformed. Not just your life, but people who are around you and people who are looking up to you. So I hope this inspired you to make that jump into the community, or just check out the links and see how it pans out for you. And I'm pretty sure that so many of my students are or who have deployed these habits into their life, who started seeing those results. It can be in the level of confidence, in the way they show up, the kind of presence they have, the kind of motivation they showcase, the kind of things that they achieve over a week's time, productivity, because I know that's one of the high performance habits that have really shifted for them. And I really hope that it helps you and serves you in the best possible way. Thank you so much for being here and patiently going through this video. I really hope this frameworks and a lot of other things that you're learning here helps you become a great decision maker. Thank you so much. I'll see you inside my community soon.